You are freezing. In 4 hours you will die.
Genius observation.
I can give you survival.
What kind of price?
Stay close, and you will live.
If you protect me from the cold, I will reward you, human, said the alien woman. HFY story. The temperature at which a human loses the ability to think clearly is somewhere around 30 below. The temperature at which the human body simply surrenders is somewhere around 40 below. 60 below, you stop shivering. You stop fighting. You become something closer to ice than flesh. I was approaching the second threshold when I saw her. My name is Kael. My official designation was Survey Specialist, which was corporate speak for expendable observer on a planet with no commercial value. The survey mission had crashed 3 days ago. The rescue shuttle was never coming. The beacon died this morning. I had maybe 6 hours left, maybe less. The ice world, designation LV-447, had seemed academic from orbit. Glacial, stable, no indigenous threats. The kind of place where you landed, took readings, and left. What nobody had mentioned in the briefing materials was that the thermodynamics of a world this close to its star's terminator point created wind patterns that could strip flesh from bone, and that 6 hours of daylight meant 18 hours of night so complete that the darkness felt like a physical thing pressing down on you. I was huddled in the wreckage of the survey pod, rationing heat from the emergency pack, when I first heard the sound. Not wind. Not the creaking of cooling metal. Something else. Something that moved with intention through the blizzard. I looked up. She was standing at the edge of the pod's light field, and for a moment I thought I was hallucinating. The cold does that, creates visions of things you want to see. But she didn't fade. She became more solid, more real, more impossible. She was tall, maybe 6 feet, with skin that caught the emergency light in a way that suggested luminescence. Her hair was long and braided and covered in actual ice crystals that she wore like a crown. Her eyes were the most striking thing, pale, almost white, but glowing from within with something I had no frame of reference for. Not hostile, just alien, completely, utterly other. "You are freezing," she said. Her voice was precise, with an accent that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere. "In approximately 4 hours you will die." "I'm aware," I said, and my voice came out as a rasp. "Doesn't change much." She tilted her head, studying me with those luminous eyes. "Your species is not naturally adapted to this environment." Genius observation. "You will die unless you have access to heat that you do not possess." I nodded slowly, trying to understand what was happening. Was this a vision? The hypothermia finally winning? If you're offering to help, I'm listening. If you're offering philosophy, I'm too cold for it. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I can give you heat, shelter, survival. But there is a price." "Of course there is," I said. "I require protection from the cold for 3 rotation cycles. This world has entered a phase where the temperature will drop below even my survival threshold. I need a human to maintain my core temperature during the deepest cold. To stay close. To provide the heat your species generates so carelessly." I stared at her. "You want me to cuddle you?" "Your terminology is crude but accurate. Skin contact, body heat, proximity, 3 cycles. Then I will ensure your rescue. My people will come." It was insane. All of it was insane. I was hallucinating a beautiful alien woman offering a deal that sounded like the setup to a bad science fiction film. And yet she was real. "If I say no," yes, "you die in 4 hours. Alone. In the cold. And if I say yes, you live. For 3 cycles you will be warm. You will be safe. And then..." She paused, and something moved in those luminous eyes. "And then you will be the human who spent 3 nights with an ethereal and lived to tell the story. Few of your kind have had that honor." "Ethereal. My designation for your kind to understand." She extended her hand. "I am Lyssa, and I am asking you for help, Kael. Will you give it?" I didn't ask how she knew my name. I didn't ask how she knew anything about me. I just took her hand. Her skin was cold. Not the cold of the dying, but the cold of something that belonged to this world. I expected it to be wrong, painful, but instead it felt like touching something crystalline. Beautiful. Dangerous. She led me out of the pod to a structure I hadn't seen before. Or maybe it had been there all along and I was too far gone to perceive it. It was made of ice, but it was warm. Not hot, but genuinely warm. Heated by something I didn't understand, from some heat source that defied the temperature outside. There was a space in the center, and Lyssa sat down and indicated I should sit beside her. Your clothing, she said. Remove the outer layers. You need direct contact. I did as she said, stripping down to thermal underlayers that still felt like paper in that cold. Then I sat beside her and she pulled me close and her skin was warm, warmer than it had any right to be, and I realized that she wasn't cold at all. She was a furnace. An alien furnace made of something that shouldn't exist. Thank you, she said quietly into my hair. Over the next 3 cycles, I learned that Lyssa was older than any human civilization. That her kind had evolved on a world so cold that heat was currency. That my body's warmth was rare and precious to her, not because I was special, but because humans burned hot, burned bright and burned fast. But I also learned that she could have simply taken what she needed. That she could have forced me. Instead she asked. Instead she shared information about her world, her people, her plans. Instead we had conversations that lasted through the long nights. On the morning of the 4th cycle, her people came. A ship that descended through the blizzard like something out of a dream. They looked like her, ethereal, pale, cold-born. But they looked at me with something like respect. You kept her alive, one of them said. She kept me alive, I corrected. Lyssa looked at me with those glowing eyes. You will be returned to your people. Unharmed. And if your kind ever comes back to LV 447, they will find us ready to negotiate. I wanted to say something profound. Something that would capture the strangeness of the last 3 days. But all I said was, thank you for saving me. She smiled, and for just a moment, her luminous eyes became less alien and more like something I could almost understand. Thank you for keeping me warm, she said.